Are you planning to ally with the NCR? Is that why you're running these errands for them?
No, I'm just working with them for a while. Why?
Well, I'm not excited about getting involved in this war, and I wish we didn't have to do it. And I probably don't even need to say this, but if we have to get involved, I want to fight with the NCR.
Okay, let's head out.
Yeah, let's go.
What's up? Lead on.
This place doesn't look like much, does it? I didn't believe this was Randall's old joint until I checked inside. Shame that it's been left abandoned. That painting is something to see.
If you're here to settle a score, just know you aren't the first. I'll bury you.
Going alpha right out the gate, huh? Good negotiating tactic. Your body language needs work, though. Puff your chest out. It looks meaner. At any rate, you're here in all your glory. The Courier. Do you get tired of that title? It's not very imposing, you know? Maybe that's the beauty of it. Nobody expects to be downed by a messenger. Hey, here's your letter. Oh, and you're dead. Do you pronounce it courier or courier? Probably doesn't matter. Tomato, tomato.
Tell me what you want.
It's a matter of what I need, actually. My job is to relay a message from my supervisor, a fellow by the name of Marco. See, he's rather upset over his brother's death, and he wants to settle with you, in Utah. It's a very long trip. Luckily, I know the way.
Marco? You're going to take me to him right now. I'll bleed you slowly.
You are tightly wound, you know that? Just relax, hero. You'll get there soon enough. First, you're gonna help me with some business here. There are a few contacts here in the Mojave that I need to sort out on behalf of Marco's business interests. Funny thing is that there's some overlap with your past work. I managed to look through some of Randall's old records in the shack. To his credit, the man kept very meticulous records. He must have been quite the typist. Anyway, if you want to reach Utah, first you help me solve problems. Sort of like bounty hunting. Oh, and don't worry, you won't have to kill any women or children. Nothing that might compromise your code. These pretty much have it coming. Are you still firing on all cylinders? I know you suffered a brain injury, but I'm not sure if I can ferry an invalid about.
Fine.
What a team we'll be. I can't wait. Gotta make a little stop before we meet the first guy. Here's the spot on your map. See you there. Ah, you made it. The fiends really know how to make a neighborhood their own, don't they? Speaking of fiends, you remember Eileen, right? Slightly unbalanced gal who liked to sever men's genitalia? Yeah, hard to forget. Way back when you knocked her off, NCR started telling people that it was finally safe to start moving in around here, due to law and order. Well, as you probably know, the fiends were a bit more resilient than they had expected. Oh, and it turns out Eileen wasn't even the worst one. Actually, she kept some of the more savage elements in line with the threat of emasculation. What a word, emasculation. Shout it to the heavens. After you disposed of Eileen, a nice gentleman named Troy took over her crew. He was no power player, but he certainly left his mark. You see, Troy was a chronic rapist, even worse than old Cook. Not long after the Owen family moved in here, Troy paid him a visit. Let's go inside and see his handiwork, shall we?
Let's go.
You know, if I knew that I caused this, even in a crazy roundabout sort of way, that would just eat me up inside. Sort of awkward now.
Don't even go there, you twisted fuck.
Wow, the mouth on you. I would use that old cliche about kissing your mother, but I don't know if you have one. You probably killed her. All that anger, white-hot rage driving you, it kind of protects you from this stuff, doesn't it? I'm so angry. Everything I do is right. The fire will always burn out, my friend. When it does, all you'll have is unfinished missions, unpaid payback, and cold regret. And the swearing, is it really necessary? I found it a shallow substitute for substantive discourse, even when you're killing people. Well, while I've got you good and primed to explode, let's just point you towards Troy. On the way, think of something really crazy to say to him.
Oh, that's travel to Troy's height. Okay. Bruh.
I just love a quick jaunt through the ruins of a dead city. Makes me feel privileged to be alive. Maybe that's just me. I suppose we should make our way to Troy now, seeing as to how you're a famous, cold-blooded, God-fearing and bounty hunter. I'll follow your lead. One thing, though. Please don't cut off random fingers in the hopes of collecting a reward. After you.
Who the fuck are you? What the fuck are you doing here?
Troy. You have been a busy little boy, haven't you? All that robbing and raping going on, yet you can't seem to return messages.
What? Who the fuck? I'm about to light your ass up, cocksucker. You know who I am? I'm gonna smoke you, then fuck you right up the ass.
No, you won't, Troy. Do you know who I work for? A gentleman by the name of Marco. He's very unhappy that you ignored his messages. Not good, Troy.
Marco? He sent you? Oh, fuck. I didn't mean to ignore him. Shit just got fucked up. I was busy and...
Shh, Troy, calm yourself. No point in making a scene. Keep your dignity intact. You could have avoided this with timely correspondence.
Oh, God. He sent you to kill me, didn't he? Please, don't. I'll give you money, girls, anything.
Why does everyone just assume I would want a woman? I do prefer them, but you never know.
Evening.
Doesn't matter. Troy, this is a matter of balance.
I can't go like this, Mama!
Now, would you look at that? Troy, you went and pissed yourself. Would you relax? I'm not going to kill you.
Really? Oh, thank you. I'll do whatever you want. Just tell Marco. I'll do it.
No, I won't kill you, Troy. This bounty hunter will.
Oh, shit, Mama!
Damn right. Die, Troy. That's all we
Time
need.
to fight. Fighting over.
Strip have more firepower than a squad of grunts. Do you really trust them?
Bravo. When Marco told me to bring you, I told him, well, I thought that it was crazy. But you know what? He was right. You're a real killer. Next stop, Freeside. We get to take in the splendor of Vegas's grand cesspool. I'll see you there. Urine, feces, vomit. That's the intoxicating aroma of Freeside. It's like smelling hopelessness. If you're wondering, this fine establishment is known as Carl's Candy, with a K. Unfortunately, they do not offer confectionaries. No, Carl's is just one of many brothels in Freeside, but it should interest you for at least one reason. No, not that one. That comely young lady soliciting her services on the corner is known as Jill. Apparently, she's the daughter of the late Charlie Halfcock. See, Charlie's mercenary work provided for his daughter after his wife left him. With a name like Halfcock, you can imagine why she left. Single father with half a penis and a powerful rifle. What a story. But then, he met you. His kid, orphaned. Though only at the tender age of 16, Jill took it upon herself to make her way in the Mojave. With few marketable skills, Jill was soon forced to rely on her most valuable asset, her body. Carl quickly scooped her up and made her his own. But it doesn't end there, friend. Carl doesn't just pimp out girls. He makes them utterly dependent through chem abuse. Pretty soon Jill was strung out on Jet and completely broke. She became de facto property of Carl. Coincidentally, I have to deliver some news to Carl so we can kill 2 perverts with 1 stone. You better lead the way, though. My rugged looks are simply magnetic to females, and I don't want to be swarmed by hussies.
Shut the fuck up! Do you mind? I am trying to work here. If you're looking for some tail, check downstairs.
Ah, Carl. Tell me, does it make you feel strong when you smack around starving hookers? This is a real man right here.
Ooh, excuse me? You go walk into my place and lay down attitude? Motherfucker, I will crack your skull open and shit in it.
As much as I want to be moved by that arresting imagery, I need to get to the point, Carl. Do you remember the arrangement you had with Marco?
Marco? Are you serious? That motherfucker ain't even real. So I took some guy's money and said I'd kick it up to Marco. What of it? It was a scam.
No scam, Carl. You knowingly stole from one of Marco's associates, then went on to denounce the whole affair in public. Bad judgment, my boy.
You can't be serious. I was just joking with some boys in Freeside. Everyone knows Marco isn't real. Right? Oh, fuck, man. Oh, fuck. Holy shit, man.
No joke.
Ready?
Let's just talk about
Steady.
Quick.
What are you doing? Goodbye. Why was he running towards me?
It's really up to the discretion of my associate.
Fighting over.
What do you need?
And that's how it's done, partner. You showed patience, but didn't hesitate when it was time to act. Well done. Just one more stop and then we can begin the great trek. There's a little homestead I want you to see first, though. Here's the spot on your map.
Come to Rickenmouth for all your shopping nerds.
This fine residence is the home of Dana Quigley, widow of the late Tom Quigley. You remember him, right? Though an inveterate womanizer and a madman, Ranger Quigley still sent proceeds from his caravan robberies to his family. When his mischief caught up with him, Mrs. Quigley found herself destitute and struggled to provide for 3 children. On the verge of starvation and homelessness, Mrs. Quigley soon received an offer from a businessman. In exchange for a hefty sum, he would seize Mrs. Quigley's daughter and sell her to Kaiser's Legion. She accepted the offer.
What the fuck?
While the initial windfall tided them over for a spell, the Quigley residence has fallen on hard times once again. Crop failures and whatnot. Already maddened with regret over her daughter's fate, now Mrs. Quigley must decide how to proceed. Sell the farm? Prostitute herself? Sell a child? The dilemmas of the wasteland. Why don't we pay her a visit? You should have plenty to talk about.
There's nothing to be done here. Let's go.
You can't look her in the eyes, can you? Either that or you really have ice water in your veins. Maybe I underestimated you. Since we're just moving right along, you can meet me at a little cave near Cottonwood Cove. Legion has quite a slavery operation inside. This nice little cavern is the temporary home of one Marcus Scribonius Libodrusus, an important man given his responsibility. Slaves. Unbeknownst to his comrades, Drusus has been engaged with unsavory elements that happen to be in the employ of Marco. Lining your pockets is a capital offense in Kaiser's Legion, along with everything else. But corruption makes it more capital? Recently, Drusus has had second thoughts about his past exchanges. So it's high time he's reminded of his obligations.
Who dares intrude in my quarters? Name yourselves.
Not a polite reception, I must say. Is the hammer necessary? I think you're making my friend nervous.
By Mars, if you don't identify yourself, I'll bludgeon you and that other renegade into a bloody pulp.
I go by Virgil, but that's not really germane to the discussion. See, Drusus, I answer to a certain Marco. You might have heard of him.
You listen, profligate. I am
Somebody
done
told me a
dealing with
nest of
Marco
death
or
claws
his
lives on a ridge across
lackeys.
the river.
I do not answer
Probably
to
just
lawless
bullshit.
scum.
Scum. That's harsh, Drusus. Harsh. You might not deign to speak with us now, but I seem to recall you happy to accept our captives a few months ago.
I can't. The speculators are investigating. If they know I dealt with you, I'll be scourged and crucified like a low criminal.
But you are a criminal. You should have embraced it. Believe me, life is so much simpler and fulfilling. Better than all this stupid soldiering.
I will never yield. I am mighty. I am invincible.
Damn.
Requiescat in pace, Drusus. He couldn't accept the change rendered by his choices. Now, where have I heard that before? If you're poised to lose some witty retort or just good old-fashioned vitriol, save it for just a touch longer. My business here is settled, so I must depart for Frosthill. If you wish to join me, go to the Northern Passage and we'll make final preparations. Oh, and please leave any accompanying rabble here in the Mojave. Marco instructed me to bring you and no one else. See you there.
Christmas?
Yes?
What can you tell me about Marco?
I suppose in a strange way he's not much different from you, courier. He was forged in violence, reborn a survivor. He's not exceptional in any physical sense, nor is he the most intelligent man I've met. I suppose it's his will that sets him apart. There have been times when most men would have succumbed to defeat or even death, yet Marco won in the end. He told me about the time he was captured by raiders back east. They ate Marco's comrades and forced him into servitude. He went along with it, ingratiating himself with the leader and even proving himself as a capable cook. The raiders grew to trust him. He was eventually offered the chance to join their ranks, on the condition that he prove his ability to kill without hesitation. While he had certainly killed before, this was different. He was ordered to slaughter the family of a random farmer, a fellow by the name of Randall. Given your history with Randall, I have no doubt he's told you what transpired. Marco killed them all in front of Randall in gruesome fashion. The slavers' leader was so impressed that he made Marco his right-hand man. Marco soon exceeded all expectations as a raider. It seemed as if Marco had assimilated into this new lifestyle with no regrets or grudges, for a time. Then, they ran into a rival group of raiders.
God.
On the eve of their battle, Marco sedated the leader and carried him to the rival encampment. With a rapt, surprised audience in full view, Marco blinded, castrated, and paralyzed his leader, then announced his intentions. He declared himself leader of the rival tribe and would face anyone who thought himself more worthy. None challenged him. With his intimate familiarity with his original clan's tactics, Marco led his men to an easy victory. The fate of the captured raiders was grim. Most were blinded, emasculated, and crippled, much like the leader. Additionally, they were disemboweled. For days, Marco allowed his dogs to feed on the entrails of the dying men, taking care to ensure their survival long enough to extend the agony. They all died eventually, except the leader. He had a much worse fate. They say Marco carted him about for years, caged like an animal. He was a living reminder that crossing Marco could bring a fate far worse than death. No one ever questioned him.
Where'd you get the Pip-Boy?
It was given to me when I came of age, so very long ago. Though it's unsightly and cumbersome, there's no questioning its value. The targeting alone has saved my skin more than a few times. Of all the paths I've walked, all the trials I've endured, it's been constant. Yes, this Pip-Boy is better than a loyal hound. Certainly superior to a wife. God, it's not even close.
Ooh, yeah, should be. Why did Marco send you, though? Why didn't he come and face me himself?
Do you always imagine elaborate, contrived showdowns with your antagonists? I'm afraid Marco's a touch more pragmatic in his outlook. Don't worry, he'll fight you on his own terms when the time's right. First, I have to see to his interests while he stabilizes things in Utah. He told me that Sergio came here, squared off with you in some mountain town. Didn't work out well for him, did it? Do you want Marco that badly? You have to know that it's risky going up to Utah.
I don't give a damn where he's holed up. I'll find him and I'll kill him just the same.
I can see that you believe that. Making it a reality is going to take more than iron conviction and your ungovernable rage. Yes?
Wait, you grew up in a vault?
Do you find that remarkable? Most people have rather strong assumptions about vault dwellers. We're all naive, agoraphobic shut-ins, right? Some of them never adapt to the outside, but me, I never liked being trapped. As a boy, I constantly dreamed of life beyond the vault. I escaped through literature and comic books. Never cared for school itself. My father punished me, even destroyed my books. I didn't care. I could paint grand vistas in my mind, climbing to the highest peaks while taking in real sunlight, breathing unfiltered air. My father hated his lot in the vault, working maintenance. He hated even more that I was content to spend my time withdrawn from his world. He drank a lot, beat me and my brother when things boiled over. Overseer was a real traditional type, didn't want to interfere, so nothing changed. Dad had plans for me. Maintenance and repair in the vault, an auspicious occupation. I probably would have killed myself if I'd stayed in that vault.
How did you escape the vault?
When I was 13, the water chip gave out, so we had to make contact with the outside. I wanted to leave with a scouting expedition. Dad said no. I planned on sneaking out with my kid brother. Couldn't leave him with Dad. I got caught, and the old man pummeled me unconscious. I ended up in the infirmary. Dad wound up in his cell. Didn't last, though. Overseer released him the next day. He had critical skills. You see, I found that life is a series of epiphanies. Some are minute, others hit you like a freight train. I had a big one in the infirmary. I realized that the rules would always work against me in my dreams. Somebody with money or power pulls the strings, snuffs them out. It was that realization that finally pushed me over the edge. Or made my balls drop. One night I picked up Dad's bat and bashed his kneecaps. He cried like a little girl, apologized and confessed till he was hoarse. My stepmom stayed out of it. She was a timid soul. I told them that me and my brother were leaving, and that they shouldn't bother trying to find us. Dad just sobbed and nodded. There was a skeleton crew guarding the entrance, so we slipped out before they found Dad. Don't know what became of him. Knowing what I know now, I only wish they'd finished that bastard off. He was a waste of life.
What happened after you escaped the vault?
We left at night, but it was still disconcerting at first, seeing the sky above you, like an ocean bearing down on you. You feel so small. We adjusted soon enough, just kept walking east. It was so stupid in hindsight. A couple of kids with a baseball bat, nothing more. You see, back east there aren't all these nations like you have here. It's just towns and tribes with no real order. We had no idea. I wish I could tell you we found a town and everything worked out. Not the case. We were picked up by slavers led by a man named Dickie. Dickie ran a roaming band who would lease out slaves to towns or raiding crews. To his credit, he was a sharp trader. I thought I had taken some harsh beatings, but the slavers made Dad seem like some grandma with an old switch. They were merciless. It only bothered me when they hit my brother, though. He was no more than 8 at the time, so they planned on making him a sex slave. I despised Dickie not because of his cruelty, but because he was always smiling, whistling, making cracks. Dad may have been an abusive cretin, but at least he imparted some mechanical know-how. That's how I got the slave collars off. We ran until our blood burned and our bare feet bled, then ran some more. Dickie was tracking us with dogs. It was closed when I spotted the town. In that moment I knew we wouldn't make it. Dickie and his crew were too fast, so I sent my brother off towards the town while I backtracked. He made it. I didn't. If I had known what awaited me, the sheer hell of it, I might have killed myself before they took me.
What did he do when he recaptured you?
What didn't Dickie do? 5 years. 5 years of hell. That's what I got for leaving the vault and saving my brother. It was work, beatings, work, and then more beatings. All the while there was Dickie's laughter. All the while I thought of my brother. I was near a man when Dickie got the idea of matching me up in the cage. That was a big draw, fighting slaves to the death. I knew it was my chance.
What happened after you fought in the cage?
I was strong enough from all the work, but I didn't know anything about real fighting. Dickie wanted to use me as bait for his stud fighter, Jay. Guy had at least 30 pounds on me, had won a dozen matches. I saw him as an obstacle to my freedom, something between me and my brother. It was one of the many lessons in the power of resolve. That man should have killed me, but I wanted it more, plain and simple. He broke one arm and half my ribs, but I ended it when I gouged his eyes and then drove my heel through his skull like it was a piece of old fruit. Dickie wasn't laughing then. I was hurt, but seeing his face was worth every break and bruise that I'd suffered. It was the first time I killed. I'm not sure what Dickie had planned for me because another man bought me on the spot. Guy named Thompson. He was all right. Thompson made me an offer. Win enough matches and I'll set you free. Win a lot of matches and you can join the crew. So I did. So I fought and I won. Every type of man, big, small, slow, fast. I found a way to kill them. It always boiled down to willpower, nothing else. Thompson was an old fellow, gruff but fair. He pushed me hard, but it paid off. He never beat me. Not that I gave him reason. I respected him. He recognized the fire burning in me, knew how to harness it without smothering me. Wasn't long before I was working alongside him. After Thompson died, I was in charge. Wasn't long after that I met Marco, and the rest is history.
This is your background. How did you get mixed up with Marco?
I had a non-traditional upbringing, with the requisite amount of violence for wasteland standards. Marco found me when I was a young man. I was just a thug when we met. He saw something in me, something I didn't know about myself. He just has that ability. It's uncanny. He pushed me to become more proficient at violence, but also instilled the urge to educate myself. It's amazing what learned slaves can teach you. I have no doubt I would have perished in some scrape back east if I hadn't met Marco. I would have been another anonymous, forgotten raider. Some gang members came and went, like Red Bear. They feared Marco, so their presence was usually ephemeral. There was always a core, though. We stay loyal to Marco because he wins every time, against all odds. There's profit, but also brotherhood. Is it the same with your group?
Yes, I'm close with my companions. I dare say they readily die for me.
Then you know full well of what I speak. Marco's men would do the same for him, myself included. Something to think about when you go to Utah.
Do you ever feel guilty with running with Marco?
Marco always said, man is the measure of all things. In this world you make your own law for yourself and those closest to you. Talking about right and wrong is delusional. and self-indulgent. If you had traveled and seen what I have, you'd appreciate the truth in this. Seen towns where they ate people but wouldn't let the women out in public for fear of immorality. Other places they killed kids for stealing food. Deep down, everybody has an idea about what's right. Sleeping with another man's wife? It's okay, she's unhappy. How about robbery? Oh, they're rich. Marco taught me to look within, trust my own instincts, and most importantly, to do what it takes to stay alive. He always looked after his people. So to answer your question, I don't feel guilty. There ain't no heaven or hell, just this rock. And I'll get mine while I'm here.
If I'm hearing you right, you seem to embrace being the bad guy.
I want to know what a feet-sniveling worm coined the term bad guy. Probably some spineless wretch who relied on stronger men for his safety. You know what bad means to me? It means you're strong, you endure when others listen to that pussified voice inside, lay down and die. I don't know about your world with all its nations and laws, but in my world, good is raw flesh that's stripped and eaten by the hungry. What would you do without a few bad men around? No job for starters. You're only as good as the man across from you. It's what builds you. You've smoked a few lowlifes and now you're supposed to be special? You're just another meatbag with an expiration date. The hubris of it, to call me bad. There will come a time when you'll wish you had more bad in you, because good lets you down in the end.
Is this all about Sergio? I have a hard time believing that Marco was close to his brother.
Why wouldn't it be about Sergio? Even bad men love their brothers. You might say their mutual interests made them closer. You're not completely off base, though. Before Sergio was killed, Marco had already heard some of the stories coming out of the Mojave. People talked about some courier who was all but unstoppable. A veritable force of nature by all accounts. That didn't sit well with Marco. I guess on some level he wants to prove that you're no better than the rest of us mere mortals. Or at least not better than him. You've been riding high since you ducked the Reaper. Maybe too high. If you aren't careful, you'll get a nasty lesson in mortality soon enough.
Do I want to go ahead and go? Fuck.
Yes?
I'm ready to leave for Fort Hill.
Only 250 miles to go. Let's get started.
Let's go.
I'm sneaking up behind a gecko. Right.
Hold on, y'all.
It's a nice long walk to Frosthill, so pay attention and you might learn something. Over the years, travelers have told stories of a man in black, the most dangerous killer alive, from somewhere far to the east. For you, he was merely a name, Marco. He would have remained just that, if not for a chain of events after you emerged from the grave. You squared off with the Mojave's worst, and prevailed. Some began to speak of you as a living legend of the wasteland. None of this would have mattered until you met a man named Sergio, and killed him. Then you had Marco's full attention. When he heard about his brother's death, he sent me to find you, to bring you to him, so that you could settle this. Now there will be a grim meeting between you and the man in black, after which, only one legend will endure. Well, we made it. Don't you love that clean mountain air? Breathe it in, savor it. Do you have anything you want me to relay to Marco?
Tell him I packed this pistol and I'll be using it to send him to hell.
Nice. Is that an old pre-war Remington? If you're going to get killed by something, that would be a good choice. Take care, courier.
Yeah, because encampment. It is uncertain if your pants will ever cross again. Alright, y'all. Guess we stop here, bro. That's it.